Have you been feeling like every emotion you've ever bottled up ever is just trying to come to the surface and like you can feel the crash out incoming? I promise you are not alone in that. We have a full moon in Scorpio coming up on May 12th, and despite the name, the flower moon, don't let that lull you into a false sense of security, because this is actually going to be a pretty intense full moon. My name is Natasha, also known as Nourish Natasha. That's my dog Jack back there. We are going to do the astrology and the tarot and the collective energy of this full moon in Scorpio coming up on May 12th. This is a collective reading, so congratulations if you made it here. You're part of the collective. I set the intention before these readings that it finds who it needs to find. So if you made it here, welcome. Yeah, this full moon in Scorpio is going to be an intense one. I have a lot to say, but that's pretty much like the general theme of this. I mean, we know full moons are about releasing. We know full moons are about feeling very powerful, obviously. You know, there's a reason why, you know, I feel like witches and magic get this association with the full moon, because they are very powerful times for us to do our spell work. And I think we forget, though, that full moons, while they can, again, be a very powerful time to do spell work, are really about releasing, about illumination. It's kind of like that point in the moon cycle where we need to feel and kind of let stuff go. And this one in Scorpio is going to kind of be a big one. We also have Pluto in retrograde right now, and Pluto is Scorpio's ruler. And Pluto is the planet of death and transformation and rebirth, and Scorpio is the sign of death and transformation and rebirth. Scorpio in the tarot is ruled by death and the tower. Like, the themes of death, and I don't mean literal death, but sometimes, you know, I feel like when we pull the death card, people freak out and are like, oh my god, someone's gonna die. And it's like, no, it means, you know, it's like the metaphorical death of something dying and being reborn. It's that transformation. It's very like butterfly sort of energy, and like the the snake shedding its skin sort of energy. But this full moon in Scorpio is definitely going to be a pretty transformative one. And, you know, it's, again, with that Pluto retrograde, it's going to be kind of like a bigger picture energy almost. I feel like the vibes of this full moon in Scorpio are really like zooming out and looking at like the big transformation, and finally maybe having that moment of like, oh dang, I'm not the same person I used to be. Even if that transformation might have already happened, or it's been this like a bunch of small changes over like a long period of time that have kind of like culminated into this like huge change, I feel like we're gonna start finally be like, whoa, oh ho, I changed. Something changed. Things are different now. I feel like it's gonna be like that realization point. I wrote in my notes, enlightening, awakening. This is gonna be heavy in the shadow work. Scorpio is the kind of sign of the shadow. And you know, Scorpio is a water sign. It's that really deep-seated feelings and the shadow, our shadow self that we maybe don't share with anybody else. You know, again, with this full moon bringing illumination, things might be illuminated. The truth will come out. I feel like that also happens with Scorpio full moons, is like there's a light shed on those parts of you and other people that don't want to see the light. That's also maybe why you feel like all this pent-up emotion is just like bleh, like coming out without really your control. But, you know, I'm here to tell you that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. A lot of the times I think we feel like, why can't I move on? Why can't I have that full transformation? Like, maybe you still feel like there's a part of your old self that's like lingering, or a part of that thing that you maybe cut out of your life, that old person, that old relationship, that old job, whatever it was. It maybe feels like it's lingering. I feel like this full moon in Scorpio is going to be the last little like, okay, it's done. That sword's gonna come down. This will be a great time to do cord cutting rituals. It's gonna be like, all right, that's done. We're done with that. So yeah, that's kind of the energy of this full moon. Let me see if I wrote down any other notes. The sacral chakra. So that is what Scorpio rules in our body. Scorpio does rule the reproductive organs, kind of the like lower belly, lower back, hips sort of area. If you'd like to work on that energy physically, I will have a full free yoga class as well here on my YouTube channel, where we are going to work on that, the sacral chakra and our hips and all that good stuff. And it's uncomfortable energy. That's the thing about this full moon. Like, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. It's gonna kind of feel like pulling teeth. And I'm just here to prepare you. Like, I think it's for the greater good. I think we have to feel to heal, but a lot of the times we don't want to feel that heavy stuff. That's why we bottle up our emotions, right? We're like, no, I don't want to feel that. life is too busy, I got too much going on, I can't crash out right now. I'm here to tell you, have the crash out. I'm not saying go do anything crazy. I'm saying like let yourself cry. When I want to cry, because it's kind of hard for me to cry even though I am a Pisces, I will like intentionally watch something or listen to a song that makes me cry just to like get the release going if you maybe feel like you're pent up. Like, for example, I don't want to spoil The Last of Us, but like if you know what happens in The Last of Us, it is very similar to my own traumas. And so I watched it with the intention of like, okay, this is going to make me cry. I want to feel this. I want to feel this feeling. I want to kind of get it out. And also I think on an unrelated note, I was thinking about this right before I started filming, the things, the media that releases around these astrological events or around like the astrological energy that's happening, I think is really interesting. If we look at last month, it was Aries season. We had Aries and Venus in Aries. And this was a time, you know, Venus is our planet of love and beauty and attraction and art and that kind of thing. And we had Lady Gaga's new album release. Lady Gaga like popped off with Abracadabra and the Coachella thing. Ghost had their new album release. It was like a really big moment for like creativity, really fire, really powerful creativity. And then now this weekend, coming up with this full moon in Scorpio, we have the A24 movie Bring Her Back releasing, which I got to go to an advanced screening of. And it was like the most powerful, hard, heavy movie about grief I've ever seen. But like, damn, it was amazing. And then Final Destination Bloodlines, which I'm also going to an event for. And I'm like, dang, I'm also going to this like thing at Lizzie Borden's house here in Massachusetts. So it's like all these things around death are happening this weekend. These movies are releasing, right? And I just think that's really interesting because that is the energy of this Scorpio full moon. But I hope that puts into perspective, like kind of the energy that we're expecting here. Clear it out. Let yourself feel. Let those things go. Let that final stage in the transformation happen. Maybe pull back. Look at the big picture. Like, dang, I have come this far. I'm not who I used to be, even if maybe physically you look the same, maybe even your life kind of looks the same, but you know, internally you were different. You know, this is kind of a time to reflect on that and also just, again, release any lingering like bits of your past self. So on that being said, we're going to get into the tarot reading part of this. Yeah, we're going to go for it. I'm using the glow in the dark tarot because I feel like that's, again, the Scorpio energy, the darkness, the shadow. The deck is glow in the dark, and I'm also wearing I have a vintage Fancy the Opera sweater, and this also glows in the dark, which I did not discover. I bought it from the Salem Flea Marketplace, and then I was in a bathroom once, and I think the lights went off, and I was like, oh my god, and then I realized that my Phantom shirt was glowing, and I was like, this is the greatest discovery of my life. And honestly, that's kind of the Scorpio full moon energy too. So already at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups lingering there, and that is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces energy, Queen of Water, and the Queen of Emotion. Like, but the thing about the Queen of Cups is she's emotionally mature, emotionally stable. She knows how to handle those emotions. So, you know, that's kind of the energy we should embody with this full moon in Scorpio. I feel like almost having the crash out, having that big emotional release, then kind of leads us to emotional stability. Like, we have to get that out so we can kind of level out, you know what I mean? So that's definitely the vibe. Let's see what else we got. What do we need to know for this full moon in Scorpio? Also, by the way, I am, for very, very limited time and very, very limited spots, offering personal readings. So if you want a reading just like this one, but personalized to you, I have a very limited amount of spots open just for the month of May. I'm going to be reading tarot here in Salem, Massachusetts in person, and I kind of wanted to, you know, it's been a hot minute since I've offered personal readings. And I kind of want to dip my toe back into those waters before I start doing it in Salem. This will probably be the last chance that I offer personal readings online. So the link will be in the description box below if you want to snag one of those. But I'm excited. I have a few to film today, and it's like literally just like these YouTube readings, except personal to you and whatever questions you want to ask. So yeah. All right. What do we need to know? All right, we'll pull the old-fashioned way since nothing wants to fly out. The star, that's so nice. And this honestly is the card of Aquarius. And again, we have Pluto retrograde in Aquarius right now. And that energy is very about the self. It's about authenticity. Releasing anything, I think, with this full moon of Scorpio that is not authentic to you. Maybe pieces of you that have come from other people. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I feel like you know, obviously when we love someone or we have friends or a relationship or a partner or whatever, I feel like we kind of take on traits of that other person, or we like the things maybe that person likes. They introduce us to something. And, you know, I think it's like, if you have, maybe you're holding on to bits of those things that maybe aren't yours, or like, you're like, well, I just kind of maybe like this because like this person liked this. Like, I feel like letting that go, and coming back to yourself. And that's a really random message that's coming through, but I feel like maybe someone needs to hear it, or just, it's just about coming back to you. Like, the best example I can give is when I was in my early 20s, I was married. I was a completely different version of myself, and I was trying so hard to be something that I wasn't. I was trying so hard to just like conform to what I thought I needed to be wanted and desired, and like what my ex-husband wanted. And now I feel like I finally shed most of that, and I'm like, I'm back to myself. Like, I am who I am when I was 15 years old. And the star is about your North Star, your North Star. I like to compare the star to Jack Sparrow's compass in Pirates of the Caribbean. It doesn't point north, but it points to what he wants the most, or whatever who's holding it wants the most. And that should be your guiding light. That should be what kind of directs you. And with this Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, the Aquarius, the star energy also brings things back to the collective, back to the community, you know, focusing on the collective and the community healing and all that jazz. But it's really about authenticity and authentic expression is the star card. And the world, yay! This is my favorite card in the tarot. If you didn't know that about me, I don't pull the world very often, and when I do, I'm like, yes. Like, the world is the end of the tarot. It is the last card in the major arcana. It is the end of the Fool's journey, and it is a full cycle. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of like the middle point, and then the world is like the end. And that's what this full moon in Scorpio feels like. At least to me personally, it's a huge cycle ending and another cycle beginning. But the world to me is like, you did it. Congratulations. I only pull this card when that kind of happens in my life. I pulled it the day that I quit my full-time job to pursue this full-time, my business. This was in 2018. I came home from like quitting my job, and I pulled the world. And I had this deck at the time that had kind of like descriptors, like little just like sayings on the cards, and it just said, congratulations, you did it. And that's kind of what I feel with the world card. And that's again what I feel like with this full moon in Scorpio, what I was talking about earlier. It feels like we are finally realizing that we did it. I've been having this conversation with my best friend. It's like, dang, we really did that. Like, my best friend and I moved across the country together from Las Vegas, Nevada to Salem, Massachusetts, and are doing everything that we wanted to do. Like, in my journal that I have, like, I have my full moon in Scorpio, like, notes here at the beginning of this journal. I have my goals written down. And the other day, I was just, like, crossing off, like, all these things that I've done. And I was like, dang, I haven't taken that time to, like, be like, woo, I actually did that. And maybe that's what you should be doing under this full moon in Scorpio, is taking the time to acknowledge the world, how far you've come, you know? The moon, of course, the path ahead may still be uncertain. Also, all major arcana so far, I knew this was going to be a really powerful full moon. I can tell when a full moon is going to be very powerful when I see everyone talking about it, not just like astrology girlies, but like everybody can feel the energy. I'm telling you, this is going to be a big one. The moon, card of Pisces, and Cancer energy, but it is the subconscious. It is illusion. It is also kind of the shadow. You can see the duality of the light wolf and the dark wolf, like the light and the shadow. I actually have that written down in my notes. It says dark and light. The light is, we have both inside of us, right? Like, we are not just light and we are not just dark. One cannot exist without the other. Every person on this planet has a shadow, including you. And if you do not do your shadow work, you're never going to heal. You're never going to move forward. And I am very deep in shadow work. I've had people tell me a lot that that's kind of like where I exist mostly, is in the shadow. That's just kind of who I am. And, I'm very in tune with my shadow. I know the parts of me that are hurt and traumatized and dark that I keep down inside, and I've done a lot of work on that. And my biggest advice, if you're like, I don't know how to start the shadow work or what to do, is to just practice non-judgment, non-attachment. I say that in all my yoga classes. Get curious. Just simply curiosity of why these things are there. When you have that dark thought, when you have that like thing that comes up that just like really messes you up, just try to be curious and don't judge yourself, because we're human and we have these things. And also, I think in the terms of relationships, which also might come up under this full moon in Scorpio, is old relationships coming back, or truths coming to light in relationships. Something that I think is really important, and to be fair, I say this as someone who's been single for 5 years, but it's very important to make sure that not only your light is compatible, but also your darkness. Because again, every human being on this planet has a shadow self, has a darkness. And if you're going to be with someone, whether it's as a friend or a relationship or whatever, you have to make sure that their darkness is compatible with yours. You have to acknowledge that they have that inside of them, that you also have it in you, and work through it, set boundaries, discuss it, get curious, you know what I mean? King of Pentacles, that's that Taurus energy. You can see the bull head here. We're in Taurus season. And you know what's interesting is I was thinking before I was filming this video, what are the similarities between Scorpio and Taurus? Because those are sister signs, right? They're on opposite ends of the zodiac wheel. We have the sun in Taurus, so the moon is in Scorpio. And I feel like the similarities between Taurus and Scorpio are the fact that they are very blunt. They're very stubborn. They're very like, here's the truth, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? And again, I think that's the vibe of this full moon, is like laying it all out. Here it is. That's it. Not sugarcoating anything. The King of Pentacles is also a great card for abundance and stability and foundation, which, you know, I think we're always all working towards. The Nine of Pentacles. Love it. It's like major arcana in Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is very single, independent energy, moisturized, unbothered, in your lane, you know, focusing on you. And the Nine of Pentacles is an abundant harvest for you. And it's kind of the baby card to the Empress. It's very like luxury energy. Again, it's a very single energy. Not that you have to be single, but remembering to be independent, remembering, and it's right underneath the World card here. And I feel like it's like remembering how far you have come, the work that you've done. Like, kind of just pull it back to yourself, and maybe stop giving credit to other people. Like, take some credit for yourself. There is nothing vain or wrong about being like, I did that, and celebrating yourself. The Page of Wands, and new adventures to come, my friends. Pages are youthful energy. They're kind of like the young energy of the court cards, and Wands is passion and creativity. And it's like, okay, now it's time to go on new adventures. Now it's time to maybe start something new. You can see he has salamanders on his little cloak here. Salamanders are on the Wands court cards because they represent being protected from the fire, being protected from risk, as he's about to go on his little journey with his little cute hat and his little walking stick. We are clarifying with the Tarot Obscura, which is another death skeleton themed deck, and the card that just flew out again is the Star. And the universe is like, girl, I said what I said. We started with the Star with the other deck, and the Star and all of my white hair is here again. Stay true to you. And maybe and I just, you know, the Star on both of these versions of the Star, it's like so bright, right? It's like bright and shining, and like, I feel like we need to really shine that light. We need to shine that light on like what's authentically us. Like, don't be afraid to step into the light. With Pluto and Aquarius, even if it's retrograde right now, those who are authentic to themselves in any sphere, whether you're trying to start a new business, whether you're starting a new job, or like a new relationship or whatever, or you're maybe trying to put yourself out there on social media, Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius energy is also very focused in like tech and communication and innovation and things like that. Be yourself. I'm hearing in Aladdin when Genie is like a bee and he's trying to tell Aladdin to talk to Jasmine, and he's like, be yourself. Like, why am I making Disney references right now? I don't know, but that's what it's giving. It's giving Aladdin, like, instead of pretending to be Prince Ali, he just needs to be Aladdin. You know what I mean? All right. What else do we need to know for this full moon in Scorpio? The Lovers. Wow, would you look at that? Card of Gemini can be maybe a choice needs to be made, or maybe love is in the air. You know, I think that again is a theme of this full moon in Scorpio, but again, it's authentic love. The star and the lovers together is like authentic love, being yourself with a partner, not trying to fake it. Just like letting all the parts of you be loved, letting the shadow parts of you be loved, which is hard. The Knight of Swords coming in hot, coming in fast, and we're stressing about it. So maybe perhaps it's the love that's coming in. Perhaps it's all these feelings that are rushing in. This idea of being maybe authentic to yourself is scary. It's terrifying. In fact, the Nine of Swords is our card of stress, nightmare, anxiety. I know it's scary. Believe me, I know. But I'm here to tell you that my entire job is being unhinged on the internet. If you follow me, if you subscribe here, you follow me on my other channels, I am what I am. Like, I don't know how else to say that. I kind of just act like an unhinged vampire on the internet, and it has gotten me so far in life, but like just being authentic to me. And I'm here to tell you that it's going to be okay. It's scary at first, but I promise it's going to be fine. The Nine of Wands. We're almost there. And I feel like the Nine of Wands in this case, you can see he's kind of like holding on to that one wand that's again like bright and shining like the star. It's like, I feel like you're almost there. You're almost there in the fact that you're ready to like present and be the most authentic version of you. You can like, you have that maybe star in your hand and you're looking at it like, I can do it. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. Page of Swords. We have 2 pages here. New adventures to be had. Aha moments. A eureka, I found it moment. Like, there's a lot of like holding a thing up in the air in these cards. Like we got the Page of Wands, Page of Swords. The Nine of Wands is doing that. The Knight of Swords is doing that. It's really like, I feel like we're like, aha, like I have it. The Five of Wands. Don't go and be chaotic with it. Don't go and like, fight other people with it. I still think we need to stay in our lane. And there's the World again. I cannot make this up, y'all. The Cosmos in this deck, but it's the World again. Like, we did it. Let the endings happen. Let the new beginnings begin. Like, stop trying to fight it. I feel like there's a lot of resistance. I'm picking up on a lot of resistance here. Maybe, there's the limiting beliefs. There's like, but I'm scared. Like, I can't, we had the moon, like I can't see the path ahead. But the star will illuminate that path ahead. Being your authentic self will illuminate the path ahead. Trusting your intuition, trusting yourself, yeah, I'm about this reading. I really enjoy it. We're going to do for Oracle a little Demon of the Day. I got this deck to go with the Occult Tarot, which is a demonology deck, and this is similar, except it is like little, just like Oracle cards with the demons on them. What else do we need to know for this full moon in Scorpio? They also have like an Angel of the Day one. There's one that has angels and demons on it. It's really cool. All right, chaos mode is not working, so we will pull the old-fashioned way. Sabnok. Consider your talents. How can they help you overcome any obstacles on your way? And it's this like lion guy. He honestly kind of looks like the knight that we have here. Sabnok. Interesting. Consider your talents. How can they help you overcome any obstacles on your way? I saw this video. It's kind of trending, I think, on Instagram. And it's this guy talking about effort requires no talent. And he's talking about how, if you're someone who is maybe watching someone else do what you want to do, and you're like, well, they're not as talented as I am. It is irrelevant, because if you're not putting, I'm going to call you out a little bit on this one, whoever needs to hear it. If you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not putting in the effort, your talent does not matter. That's why somebody else is out here that maybe isn't as talented as you is doing the thing, getting paid for it, following their dreams. So consider your talents. How can they help you overcome any obstacles in your way? But also consider the effort. Talent without effort is nada. Balam. Sometimes it's better to be invisible than to be seen. Balaam will help you avoid the eyes of others. Well, that's interesting. I think that we should definitely be seen. I think the star is a very card of being seen as your authentic self. However, I think this may be suggesting not being seen to the people that like don't matter. Because regardless of what you do, you're going to have people that hate you. If you ever see my Instagram comments, don't. It's very hard being a public figure on the internet. I get hate comments every single day. Every single day. And I think it's Dita Von Teese who said this, but you can be the ripest, juiciest peach and still somebody would not like peaches. So, Zipper. Your romantic relationship should be at the forefront. Allow your heart to solve any problems that arise. There you go, my friends. That is the feeling, energy of this full moon in Scorpio. Your romantic relationship should be at the forefront. Allow your heart to solve any problems that arise. I feel like romance is definitely coming up under this full moon. Again, maybe some truths will be revealed. Maybe you want to reveal your truth for somebody. I say go for it. Fornius, respect and admiration from others comes easily with success. Is the goal you're pursuing truly worthwhile? And I cannot show this full image because the demon is literally a wiener with wings. So there's that. I believe that his name, the Fornius, actually comes, it's like the word that has created the word fornication, which I think is funny. But respect and admiration from others comes easily with success. Is the goal you're pursuing truly worthwhile? I feel like this again is saying like don't do things just because you're gonna get respect and admiration from others. Like it's literally like, well, that is easy when you're successful, but is this goal you're pursuing worthwhile? Is it impressive to you? Is it giving yourself respect and admiration? Like, come on now. All right, this is our last demon of the day, Gusion? Don't know how to say it. Ask your questions. The past, present, and future shall be revealed. Let go of jealousy. What did I say? The truth will be revealed, my friends. Ask and you shall receive, and let go of jealousy. I think that's an interesting statement at the end of that card. But let things be revealed. You could do a cord cutting spell. You could do spells that are truth revealing spells. Again, reveal your own truth. That's a spell. Like speak your truth, speak your mind, go tell that person how you feel, or go say, hey, I want this job, or like speak up. Like it's Taurus season. Taurus rules the throat chakra. Like it's that balance of Taurus and Scorpio energy. Everything shall be revealed under this full moon, my friends. Illumination, enlightening, awakening, a light being shown on the shadow, which isn't always a bad thing. So do your shadow work. Again, if you want a personal reading, I do have those for a very limited time and a very limited amount. So if you want one, I recommend you book it. That link will be in the description box below, as well as the link for everything else I offer. I will also have a yoga class for this full moon as well. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me know if it resonated in the comments. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this. I put out full free yoga classes and tarot readings for every new moon and full moon here on my YouTube channel. I also have a membership here. If you hit the join button, we do live yoga, live tarot, live full moon, and new moon workshops as well. I think that's it. So have a wonderful, safe full moon. May the odds be ever in your favor, and I will see you next time.